I don't know what I'm recording at. It could be 60 frames per second. Whatever it is, I'm hanging out in the backyard right now. I got my nice chair, kicking back and relaxing. We're gonna do a little quick review of a new tarp that I just got. Given the fact that in my first overnight bushcraft winter video, I got a little too close to the fire and burnt some holes in my old tarp, so figured it's high time we replace the thing. And I have a full set of gear. This is one time in my life where I've got a full set of camping gear. I got the hammock, and I got the tarp, and I got the straps. All the three products from the same store. I love the color black, so I decided, yeah, let's get all three of them, why not? So I'm talking about the Everest Tarp, or, since we're not sleeping on the ground like a peasant, this is the Rainfly. It's 100 degrees out here right now, so I'm taking it easy, just kicking back and relaxing. I'm going to set up the hammock and the tarp, give you some tips and tricks on how to do it quicker and without busting your back. Hey, I'm hitting middle age, well, 38, I guess that's middle age. As it is 100 degrees out here right now, I decided I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to relax, but put some up. When I get tired, I'm going to sit down. It is very important to stay hydrated when you're out in the heat, and so I've already drank 2 of these. I've wet my hat. This isn't sweat. I always take my hat and get it wet before I put it on when it's this hot, just to limit the amount of head hotness I have. You know, that's a thing. Your head gets hot, you're not doing too well. So staying hydrated, staying cool. Let's get started, shall we? Let's go have a look at the product. Let's go have a look at the new toys, huh? So, what I got here is this is the Rainfly, or however you want to call it, the tarp. This is how big it is. It feels to be right around the 1 pound. And then with these that I sloppily pulled out, I took this on a week long, so everything's just kind of thrown wherever right now. It fits well in here. I didn't fold it or nothing, just stuffed it all in there, cinched it up, and that's it right there. Here is the hammock with the straps. These are my old straps. Now let me show you something here. Actually, let me tripod this bad boy so we get some still camera action. So these are my old straps right here. There's nothing wrong with these straps. At least I bought them separately. You can see here is where if you can see this is where you would strap your hammock, and it's just cinched along here. The one thing that has always bothered me about these straps is that once this is pulled tight, they're very difficult to get open. They're just cinched here, sewn, just like that. That's not necessarily a problem once you get that set up, but it's kind of a nuisance. Now what Everest has done, and I'm very happy with this, is on their straps, now they've back sewn it, and see what I mean right there? So when this is pulled tight, you still have the ability to slide in a carabiner. So all the way along there, that's kind of back sewn. Yeah, I can't talk. So when this is pulled tight, you can just slip a carabiner in there anyway, really easily. I like that, and I'll show you that again when we put this up in the air here. And it comes with the little loop here that you can tie your Everest bug netting to, and I'll show you that as well. Pretty cool though. So hammock, we've already done a review on that. I'm still very, very pleased with it. Now one thing that I have done with this that I'm going to show you right now, this isn't a manufacturer's problem, this is just me being me. Let me get this all out of the bag. I have gone and I've pulled out the stitching on the bag, so it's just hanging on just here. And I did that well because I wanted more room to fold this over and push it into the bag without putting pressure on this seam that used to run all the way along here. Now, that's not something that I would necessarily tell you to do, but it is something that I have done. So anyway, let's get this sucker set up and I'll show you all about it. Alright, welcome back. Now that the difficult part is done, let's go ahead and have a look at some of the features and some of the things that I've been really impressed by with this Everest hammock. As I mentioned, I used this on a week long. Now, although it did not rain, now granted, it's a tarp. It's going to stop the rain. If it's got any quality whatsoever, it's going to stop the rain. But what I was impressed by is you can see well, you probably can't, maybe, yes, no. It's very dusty. One of the things that was quite prevalent on this camp this week was there was ash and dust literally everywhere. A wind would blow, it would get up in your face. There's just ash from a forest fire that had gone through the area last year. So there was ash. And I set it up just like you see here on this exact type A-frame. The hammock going down the middle. And it worked out very well. Now when the dust got too much, these little toggles got very, very important to me. Let me show you why. All you got to do to adjust this is to come up and grab this thing and give it a pull. And it pulls down, it tightens up, it gives you a little bit more stretch. So in the middle of the night when the wind started to kick up and it got extremely dusty, all I did was come out here, I lifted up on that, slacked it out quite a bit. As you can see, it's pulling out quite a bit on the hammock here. And then I went down and I put a rock on it. Pop, just like that. And by doing that, sticking a rock on there, I increased my angle so that the A-frame turned into a steeper A-frame, kind of held out some of that dust. In the daytime, went back, just pulled on that again, tightened it right up back to a shallower gradient. And as you can see now, it's all kind of, you got these lines coming through here. Easy fix, come over to the other side, grab it too, give it a tug, and iron out those wrinkles. So there you go. These things right here, I love them. I did not have this. I've never had this on a tarp before. Maybe I'm just not one of those really rich campers or whatever you want to call it, but I really, really appreciated that. I have no idea. And the next thing I like is they've also included them up here so that I can tighten my ridge. I've got a ridge line right here, which might be unnecessary because I can just throw it over the top, but these little, it's not this end that's impressive. While it is impressive, it's not what I'm thinking about. If I go around here to the other side, it's this. On the Everest straps, they come with these little, not sure what they call these things, but this is what I've done with it. At the top of the hammock, and this is something I mentioned in my last video, is this bug net. Now this bug net is perfect. It's such a fine mesh, it keeps literally everything out. Up here it's kind of stretchy, and inside here you can see the little loop that I hang my lights from. But this stretch right here allows you to get in and out of the hammock at various hangs and not rip your bug net, which is perfect. It's wonderful. As I mentioned before, I did this intentionally. I got it just hooked by a small thing there. It's gonna stay on there. But I didn't like my previous hammock was sewn all the way up. Now this is not something you should do necessarily because it reduces obviously the strength. You might lose your bag somewhere, but I did this because I like this to be a little bit less restrictive so that I can tuck my hammock away into the bag without worrying about putting too much stress on what was that seam right there. So just something that I did because of my previous hammock, not anything to do with this hammock. But anyway, so enough about that. Back to here. So this right here, you tie on your, it comes with the hammock comes with these straps to hold your bug net in place, and I tied them up here. Just a simple, I don't know what that knot is called. It's just easy. You loop, you grab the two things, you loop it through. Anyway, I've shown that before. Anyway, I've come around here and tied them off right here. So this is the other end. And with this suspension along the top of the hammock, I wrap it around and my tree, in this case my 2x4s, bring it back and I clip it to the other side of this thing. Just simple clip right through there. And that then gives me enough tension when I pull on this. It also straightens out that, raising my bug net up out of my face, which was a major thing that bothered me. Really the only thing that bothered me about this hammock in the first place, that bug net falling in my face, as you saw in the other video. So that kept the bugs out. And where we went on this week-long, it was just plagued with grasshoppers. There were so many grasshoppers, you couldn't walk anywhere without stepping on these darn grasshoppers. So having a bug net was freaking awesome. As the temperatures dropped, they climbed and hid, and I didn't want them all over me. Anyway, so when things got windy and a little bit too a little bit too, when it flapped around too much, I just came out here and gave these a tug, tightened it right up, and that was perfect. So, two big things that I really like about that hammock: the way the ridge, I'm going to call it the ridge line of the tarp system, the way it runs all the way through. It's very tight all the way through, and you can tighten and loosen it the way you want. But the way it hooks up, I've done it the same right there that I did on the other side. Just wrapped it around the tree, so to speak, and plopped it on the other side of your hammock net suspension hookup. So anyway, definitely two, that's one. The other thumb is over here on the camera. So 2 thumbs up for this hammock. And the whole system is really cool. Like I mentioned before, with these loops, so much easier to toss in your carabiner off the hammock when they are back sewn like this. Just comes around, folded under, and sewn like that. So even if it's really tight, you can get your carabiner in there very well, very easily done. So dirty. Anyway, let's get it washed up and conclude this review, shall we? Of course, the test is what it looks like underneath now after all that. Which, you know, it's a tarp. It's going to do its job. It is perfectly dry. You can see the water droplets on the outside. Nothing on the inside. Though I should get my hammock wet. I've got a little water coming down my suspension. I should get it wet because it's filthy. I don't think I've ever washed this. I've been in it a lot. I never washed it. Anyway, so there you have it. It's dark in here. Can you see me? Ha. So there you have it, my friends. A review of the Everest Tarp. And suspension. It's so far, I really like it. This is going to be my main rig, and I am very happy to have it, and I'll use it quite a bit. 2 thumbs up. Love your faces. Please don't forget to hit that sub button, like, for more adventures in whatever we decide to do. Shaky. Dark face, light face. Anyway, love your faces, and we will see you on the next adventure. Thank you, and bye.